Welcome to my backyard, and today we're gonna be unboxing this beautiful stack of equipment. As you can see here, we've got the new PYXIS 12K LF with a big zoom lens and a bunch of other accessories. So yeah, let's start unboxing and setting this up. Disclaimer that we bought everything here that you see with our own money and nothing has been gifted or sponsored to us. So all my opinions are my own and I'm not getting paid. I literally paid for this camera for all of this stuff. Let's start unboxing the PYXIS here. I got my trusty Leatherman. I'll take the plastic foil off. There we go. Let's throw that away. Opening up this box, of course, got a welcome little booklet. We have a Blackmagic sticker. We have a Da Vinci key. We got our first little accessory. This is the SSD side plate. We will not be using that. And there it is, the beautiful PYXIS 12K. Let's take it out, shall we? There we go. It's nice and heavy. It's a good chunk of metal. Let's put that down. Mainly what's in here are the power brick, and with that comes the EU, US plug, and like all over the world plugs. Here we have the PYXIS. It's a lot heavier than I thought at first, and it feels like a good block of metal in the hands. Feels premium, has some nice looking edges. And let's take a look at this sensor, shall we? There it is. PYXIS 12K full frame sensor. We went with the L mount. First we wanted the PL mount, but the pre-order took so long, 4 months in fact, that the L mount was in stock again before our pre-order of the PL mount even arrived. So we cancelled our pre-order and we had just ordered the L mount. And in the end, I think we made a better choice doing that, because moving on, we have this guy here, which is the Mofage Poco L mount to PL mount adapter. It's been all over YouTube. A lot of people have this thing, and it's straightforward. We're just gonna put this on our L mount. It has internal ND filters, variable ND filters, which is nice. I like the packaging. It's nice, it's creative. It's a little flip open case. That's pretty neat. We got some foam in there, pretty nice unboxing. And here is the adapter itself. Doesn't come with a back cap, just be aware of that. It only comes with a front cap. So your back is going to be exposed if you are not using it on the body itself. And here, I presume we have the ND filter that needs to go in there itself. Nice little packaging again. I'm quite surprised by this attention to detail in the packaging. So let's see here. Yep, there it is. We have the variable ND filter, and basically you just twist this on the side. There you go to from your 0.3 stop all the way to your 2.4 stop. So I'm gonna be excited to use this, to try it out. We can take the clear filter out right now by pressing this button and pulling on it. It actually does have glass in it, so be careful with that. Then we will grab the variable ND filter and we can just slide it in like so. Wait until we hear a little click, and then it's nice and snugly placed in there. I do like the packaging though. Packaging gets an A+ for me. We're going to open up our PYXIS and we are going to carefully place our PL adapter on it. It's a nice and snug fit right there. So that's our PYXIS with the PL mount. I actually really want to peel this sticker off, so here we go. That's the plastic protector on the PYXIS. Oh, I need to separate my trash from plastic and cardboard because we think about the environment. So this is the vertical side plate from Mid 49. It has a RE rosette style on the side, and it has a screw mount for the breakout box that you can buy from Mid 49, and it has these channels in the back running through it. So you can go from the mini XLR in the front here on the PYXIS. It will run through the plate to that breakout box, and you can have that 3.5mm microphone jack also going to that breakout box. So that all runs behind this plate. We don't have that, but we might upgrade that in the near future. So we're gonna need this Allen wrench. The small one will do first, because we first need to remove these screws here, which are on pretty tightly. There we go, and that's the plate. It just comes off like that. Then we have our new plate. Our new plate uses these two screws. So we just screw it in via these two 1/4-20s. It slots in nice and easy in this rigid outline. So it's not even possible to misplace it. And we will just tighten the 1/4-20s. And that's the side plate on the PYXIS 12K right now. Top plate by Mid 49. I went with this top plate because first of all, it has the cutout for the DB9 box, which we will be using later on. And it has an Arca style top mount, which we will be using for our Mid 49 top handle. So we can change the balance really easily if we're on an easy rig, for example. So this is kind of the only top plate you can use for the DB9 box. Of course, with the box itself, you can just run no top plate. But for me, I want to mount things on top next to my handle or on the side. So I will be needing these mounts here on the top and on the side, which is really nice. Place it on top. It'll get itself into place. We will grab our Allen wrench. So now we have our top plate, we have our side plate, we got the Movage Poco. It's already gaining some bulk, which I like. I like a nice heavy camera, which is quite big. So next step is, of course, you guessed it, the top handle. I must say that all of these Mid 49 parts are packaged extremely tight, almost as if they were vacuum sealed. This is our rainbow handle. It's called a rainbow handle because you can buy extensions for it. So you can actually extend backwards or forwards. We just went with the base for now, and later on we can see if we want to, extend ours. Basically the base here is Arca Swiss, and the top here on the top plate of this Mid 49 plate is also Arca Swiss. Essentially, we could just slide this in right here. We hear a nice click. We tighten this knob. Do we tighten the knob? Oh yeah, I need to press this button in order to advance with tightening the knob. There it is. Now our top handle is basically just in there with the Arca mount. If we wanted to just keep it in this position and we know our balance is good, we could go in with these 3/8 screws, screw them in the top, and fix that position so it's even sturdier. This already is rock solid because it's just Arca Swiss. We will be moving on to a personal favorite of mine. I don't know why this packaging of Mid 49 is not the best. I would love to see a bit better packaging, especially because you're paying a pretty penny for this thing. We have USB-C cable because you can get run stop through a 3-pin Fisher connector. We have the mount itself. This mounts onto the camera and we can mount the DB9 on top of it. Make them nice and tight, like so. This is our V-mount plate. We have our V-mount receiver here, of course. We have 2 D-taps on the top. We have 2 2-pin Limos, and we have 2 3-pin Fishers. We also have a DC in if we want to use a battery of some sorts or just wall power. But since we just have a wall power plug with the PYXIS that goes in here, we will be using that if we need wall power. This cable, however, goes into that 2-pin Limo port on the back of the PYXIS, which will provide the power from the box to the PYXIS. On the other side, we of course have our release lever for the V-mount. We have our switch where we can say if we want 20 amps, 12 or 10 amps batteries, because some V-mount batteries have different amperage. We have our light indicator. If we have a battery connected, this will become green. We have a DC in if we are using this DC input. And here we have a smart fuse light. If, however, we were to break the fuse, as in like overload the circuitry inside, it will be red and it will not go away until you fix the problem, and then you can press this button here and you can reset the system. So here in the back, maybe a bit hard to see, but you have a USB-C import, which is where that USB-C cable that I just showed you can go in, and you can plug it in here in the back of the PYXIS and basically have run stop on your 3-pin Fisher. If you want to use it with an RE follow focus, for example, slide it on, make it nice and straight, and tighten it down. I personally like this design a lot. Just have it nice and straight, no rails underneath, and then have the box. I think this just basically looks really clean in and of itself. And it has not arrived yet, but we did order 2 BP U30 batteries to just slot into the native battery mount of the PYXIS, just so we can hot swap the batteries and say we ever need to run on a gimbal, we have 2 small batteries. But 99% of the time we'll be using V-mount batteries on this plate. Now I'm gonna be unboxing the base plate here from Tilta. It's actually made for the C400 from Canon, but it's made for that cage, but it literally fits on any camera if you just have a Manfrotto base plate. So I'm gonna be using it for my PYXIS because I liked to have a VCT system, but a lot of the VCT systems are really long and I don't want to have like the whole base plate, you know, going from here to here and then me not having like a flawless part sticking out battery wise. So I wanted something that's like a bit of the size of the body itself, which is why I went with this one. And let's see here in the bottom, we have 1/4 and 3/8, and I think, yeah, this base plate only allows for a 1/4 and a 3/8. So this hole is actually too small to fit a 3/8 screw in. So here you can see, say I have this 3/8 screw and I want to put it in here, it's not going to fit, but it will fit in the bigger hole. So we'll just go with that. There we go. Here's our base plate. And here you can see already, even though the VCT end receiver is all the way back here, the plate itself is a bit on the shorter side, which I like. Here goes our Manfrotto plate in that we just installed. We got our rosette mounts here on the sides. We got our 50mm rod clamps here. And even more important, we have our VCT front and back releases. And we have our Velcro attached shoulder plate. Let's slide this bad boy in there, like so. And then tighten this as much as possible. Here we have the side view. Of course, you've been looking at it all the time. I haven't, but here's the side view. Looks nice. All right, I'm feeling a nice little breeze coming in because it's hot out here. For you, those who are wondering, by the way, we are located in the Caribbean here. So we have a nice tropical backdrop here for you. But we are paying the price for that in heat because goddamn, it's hot. This is the VCT plate. It feels nice in the hand. It's solidly built. Here we'll just screw in our tripod plate like normal. And then we got our VCT quick release here, like so. And this is where that V shape goes in and the end catch. So let's try it out now and see. The front one is in now, and then I'm gonna push the back one in. And then I think I'm gonna have to push it forward and then lock it, like so, nice and tight. VCT system complete, and essentially I should remove this latch, and there we go. This is a really basic part, but essentially we just have two 50mm rods. I believe at the top of my head these are like 11.81 inches long, which is like 30 centimeters in metric. So we will loosen the 50mm rod inserts and we will stick those in like so. You might wonder, why the hell did I go with 11.8 inches rods in the front? Why so long? Since this plate does not allow them to go through the plate, it stops them. Well, you'll find out soon enough, because in this big ass box, that's our lens. This is the lens support from Tilta. And since our lens is pretty heavy, we will be needing a lens support, especially since we have a adapter, which we are not supporting. So I would never recommend running such a heavy lens on an adapter without a lens support. So here we have our lens support from Tilta. And let's see here. Normally it comes with this little V-shape bridge thingy. Since our lens has a screw thread on the bottom, which is, I believe, 1/4 and not 3/8, we will be taking this part off and we will be using this little adapter here to change it to a 1/4. Now here comes the big thing, our lens. And you can see that I'm kind of struggling to lift this up here because it is in fact heavy. I want to give a massive props to Chiopt for making this packaging really cool. Out of all the things that I have unpacked, I think this packaging takes the win here. I think it's a very unique and cool design. You can see the lens here on the side of the box, little outline, which is already a little bit of a spoiler as to what lens this is. Let's break the seal. All right, and lifting the top part, nice and slow. The anticipation, there we go. Here is the lens, of course, wrapped in plastic, but comes in its nice, beautiful case. Let's try to carefully lift this up, because it is a heavy-ass lens. Wow, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a big cinema zoom lens. There it is. It's a nice and big zoom lens made by Chi-Opt. There is a front element. It's a 28 to 85 t3.2 cine zoom. And like I said here on the bottom, we have our, it's a 3/8 actually, so we will be taking off that adapter that I put on earlier. So we'll be putting our lens support in here, and this is the back element, the PL. Let's put it on our rig here, but first off, I will be taking off this little adapter. The Mofash Poco is sitting too high or too low for the lens actually. The lens is sitting a little bit too high. And I don't think that I can lower the mount any further. No, it's not going any lower. So that's actually a bit annoying. You know what? I just first need to get it inside the Mofash Poco. Here I have my small rig VB212 battery. I have two of these, so I will be placing that on my rig like so. And in fact here on the back, it shows the little light that there is in fact a battery connected. I also have a 155 battery right here, which is just a little bit smaller, which also makes the rig look nice. But of course, we want to go with the longest runtime that we can get. So we'll use this guy for now. And now our rig should be balanced a lot more. Here's the mat box from Tilta. I forgot the model number out at the top of my head. What do we have here? We have the clamp on adapter. Here's the mat box itself. We have some more plastics. 50mm rod adapter. We have the top flag. And last but not least, we have some hard mats here as well. So here we have the mat box. It's the MB-T12. We have our clamp-on adapter for the 114mm size because our front element is really big. It's 114mm. I will have to align these two screw holes here with these two thumb screws. Like so, that's nice and snug. And then I will screw them down evenly. Let's see if it clears our 50mm rods here. It does in fact look like it does, just barely, but it's nice and clean. So it does in fact clear our rails here in the front. The rig is getting really heavy. It's a big arm workout for me to even hold this up right now. I did calculate the approximate weight that it would be, and in kilograms it would come out to roughly 12 kilograms, and in pounds, I don't know, do the calculation, times 2.2, something like that. So it's roughly like, I don't know, 27 pounds maybe. Let's move on with the mat box here. It's a nice carbon fiber folding flag, so for transportation it's nice and flat. You can put it in your bag instead of having this really wide shape. Unscrew these here, slide it in. Little screw on the top here is meant to tighten it, so now it's tight, loose and tight. So that's nice. I like the friction on there. I could actually put on the 24 to 28. However, just in case I don't want any vignetting, I will put the 16 to 20 in there. The reason I'm putting a mat in at all is just to keep a little bit more dirt out of the mat box just to make the opening a little bit smaller. So I will just slide it in on the bottom and then put some pressure, snap it in there like so. And now we have our mat perfectly installed. So now I'm going to be unboxing the side handles which go onto the rosette. Let's see, here it has a little sticker. Here we have our extendable arm. It's just rosette to rosette. And since these are two male rosettes, we will be I think taking out one of these screws so that we can have a female rosette on one side. Whenever I push this down, it slides into a little rivet and then it locks. You can see this tiny little arrow there, which indicates on which one it is at the moment, and then it locks. And it has this screw on the back so that even if you go past it, it will never fall off. So that's a little bit of safety, and you also have a 1/4-20 with locking pins at the bottom. So I'm gonna put it at its shortest for now, and I will be taking out this screw. I will be putting the one on the right side upside down because I want it going backwards. Unless I'm going on a shoulder rig, then I'll flip it back forwards. I'm gonna show you guys. On this rosette, backwards, like so. And then I can extend it like so. So I will have my handle here and I will have a handle on the other side. This one is going to be facing forwards. Here I have my first handle. This is going to be temporary because this is the Condor Blue, quick release rosette handle. I ordered 2 of these. The other one is still on its way. So for now, this will have to do as my right handle. It's just a standard wooden handle from Small Rig. It fits nice in my hand, but it's only comfortable if I'm holding the camera straight forward and not a little bit from the side. So that's why I like these handles better. Here's the quick release mechanism of this handle. So basically you pull this to the side like so, and it offsets the rosette, which makes it turnable. I see that I need a Allen key because inside of this hole in the back there's an Allen receiver. So I need to stick it in like so in order for me to twist this screw and screw it on, which is, I guess, pretty clever because since it is a quick release rotatable, you don't have to do this ever again unless you want to take the handle completely off, which is, I think, smart. Push this and then rotate it nice and smooth like that, and then it locks back in. This one I just have to rotate by hand. This is already feeling really nice, so now I just have 2 steady hands, left and right, and I can easily lift this whole rig up just with 2 hands. Of course, I'm gonna be on the easy rig carrying this, or else I will be breaking my back in no time. But this is kind of the setup, which is really nice, and yeah, I can lift this a lot easier than if I'm handling this with a top handle. I just put my focus motor on there now. There is our arm. It's just a NATO rail to a NATO rail. And for that, I have these small little Small Rig NATO rail with 3/8 locking adapters wrapped in this cute little cardboard paper. There it is. I have 2 of these. So one of these will go on the front here. It's nice that it has locking connectors so that it's not going to twist on you. The reason I went with this pretty long arm is so that essentially on the left side of camera here, I could have my monitor on the left side so that if I'm either on the shoulder rig, I can have my monitor here a lot more forward, or if I'm on a tripod, I could also have it more on the left, which is easier to operate. Or if I'm on an easy rig, I want it on the right side. So I just have flexibility in this arm. So that's nice. And then here I have my small HD Indy 7 monitor. I've had this monitor for almost a year now, and it was expensive, but I do love that monitor a lot. And I have the small rig cage around it, which also comes with a sun hood, which is really nice. And as you can see here on the bottom, it actually has a NATO rail built in. So essentially I can just NATO rail this on there immediately. I also, that's why I have my second little NATO rail adapter. I can put it on the side here so that I can have my monitor out to the side. And now we have our 7-inch monitor on the top, which is nice. And then I could position it here for my easy rig work, have it out towards the right side, or I can essentially put it in vertically. And now I do want to put it in from the bottom so that my bottom safety latch is at least engaged. So now I have my monitor on the side. Oh yeah, that's nice. All right, this is just the Holyland Mars 4K transmitter with the stubby antennas from the Mars M1 monitor. So my idea is to just use this old small rig cold shield to Q20 that I had. Just actually kind of stupid of me, because I needed the other adapter, which is currently being occupied on this B camera right now, because I wanted to have this here and an angle up. But little intermission and I will steal that other mount from this other camera. Take this off, then I have right there. So we did a little magic live swap, and now I have my correct mount, which actually can go in there with the 3/8. So that's what we're gonna do. I feel like I'm gonna put it on the bottom one so that I can have my transmitter as low as possible so that it's not sticking out as much. This is why I love this mid-49 side plate, because as you can see I have a lot of 3/8 and Q20s, and they all have locking pins. Make that nice and tight. There we go. And there's our transmitter. I think that's mounted really sleekly, and yeah, it's a nice little sleek little build. All right, we're gonna move on to cable management now. I have this thing from Condor Blue, which are the Mondo ties, I believe. And I have 10 pieces of them. There they are. So they are just little cable clamps, essentially. And you just have a little Q20 in the bottom, and it just has hooks on the top where you can just thread your little cable through. I have a D-tap splitter because sadly the DB9 only has 2 D-tap ports here on the top. Of course it does have 2 3-pin fissures and 2 2-pin LEMOs. I think personally the best place to place this is here on the side. A lot of people place it on the top here, but personally I like being able to put my hand in here, and if there's a lot of D-taps sticking out here, I cannot put my hand in here anymore. And sorry, my camera's a bit dark right now because it is cloudy, it's overcast, then it's sunny again, it's overcast, so just bear with me here. My plan is sticking the D-tap splitter to the side right here. It just has 1 Q20. Unfortunately, no locking pins here, but we're gonna have to deal with it. Coiled wire, I'll be routing it into the BPU battery bay for now, just so that it is a bit out of the way. And then I will put it in the top here. of the DB9. All right, so our cables are all connected now. It's all still messy. So right now I will fast forward to the moment that I have this all nice and cable managed with these little Condor Blue Mondo ties. All right, so here we have it. Our fully rigged out PYXIS 12K with all of the accessories that I just showed you. I have fully cable managed it. I put the little Mondo ties from Condor Blue on here. I have about 4 left, so I used 6. And if I want to extend my monitor for a shoulder rig, I can just loosen the slack that I have wrapped around here. We have the ring for the easy rig. Of course, we have the mat box from Tilta. We have our internal variable NDs here of our Mofage Poco, which is wonderful. This is my fully built out complete PYXIS 12K rig with this massive 28 to 85 millimeter lens. I want to thank you all for watching this incredibly long video, and stay tuned for some well-deserved testing footage of this PYXIS 12K. I'm very excited to start shooting with this thing and run it through its paces and see what it can do. Right now, my A cam is actually a Blackmagic Micro Studio G2, which is a Micro Four Thirds sensor. That's the camera I upgraded to from my Lumix GH6, which is also a Micro Four Thirds sensor. So I was invested in Micro Four Thirds with Micro Four Thirds glass, and the A and B camera right now are both Micro Four Thirds. So since this is being full frame, open gate, it's gonna be a big step up from what I'm used to. And let's lift this bad boy right here. That's a big camera rig, I can tell you that. It's really heavy, and yeah, it's my easy rig is gonna be gonna get overworked with hand holding this. So thank you all for watching, and have a nice day.